Hello, friends. Anybody else ready for this to be over? I am. I am Amina, and that's Aminah. And I want to bid you hello. Welcome to The Other A Word by Amina Mosley, your go-to resource for fun, simple, and effective strategies to support the autism community and beyond. I'm excited to welcome you back if you are familiar with the channel, and to welcome you here if you are not. So today, because I've been getting several requests for developing a routine during this time frame, we're going to talk about that. Okay, I have 4 videos that specifically and in detail go through the steps that I'm going to just reiterate today. We're going to be doing some adjustment to time frames, of course, because we just don't have all this time to track it before we need to actually implement. But with that being said, there are still some amazing things that we can do even now, right? Okay, so here we are, right? Social distancing, self-quarantining, doing our best to stay well and stay indoors now so that we'll be safe to go outdoors by the time the summer hits. Fingers crossed. I really pray for solstice in the square, right? I'm in New York, and so we are getting hit really hard with it. We're getting slammed. My condolences to any of you all who are dealing with this directly, whose lives are affected by it directly, who are dealing with deaths and things of that nature. And I am interested in supporting the community and just letting you know that we are here for one another. Yeah. And so that being said, getting used to this new normal looks different than a typical schedule, right? So what I would say to you first is look at what you need to do and then look at what you want to do, right? I want you to get out a sheet of paper. You may need 2 sheets of paper. The more space that you have, the more reasonable you can be when looking at it, right? So let's say you have 2 sheets of paper. For every loved one in your home, right, that you're either taking care of or somebody that's co-caregiving, right? I don't want to say co-parenting, but co-caregiving. Anybody else that's in your home like that. So let's say you are a family of 4 and there are 2 adults and 2 children. So 4 columns, right? 2 separate sheets of paper again so that you can see what's going on. And what I want you to do is look at what you absolutely need to do, each of you. So if you're working at home during the day, then you absolutely need to be working, right? If your child is in school, right, is school age, then they need to be on that laptop for a certain amount of time during the day. Those are the things that need to happen, right? You all need to eat. And so put in that you need to have your meals, etc. So right now you're essentially just listing the things that you need to do, not the times just yet, but I would say the top maybe quarter of your page, just kind of list out what each person needs to do every day so far in this new normal. And then move to what you want to do. So maybe maybe you'll put ends beside everything that you're saying you need to do, and then write out the things that you want to do. So one of my besties, she said, I need to do a workout plan. I need to have, this with COVID-19 and quarantining and not commuting being in place, I've slipped out of working out because I usually go to the gym. And so what is a priority for her is to now come back to working out every day or 5 times a week, whatever it might be. So those are the wants, right? I want to work out 3 times a week. Let's be extremely realistic, for 20 minutes at a time. Okay, fantastic. So what does my child want to do? Well, my child wants to, watch a Disney movie at the end of, not sponsored by Disney, by the way, but wants to watch a movie maybe 3 times a week, something like that, right? My husband or my co-caregiver wants to cut the grass at least once a week. That makes them feel good. And my other child wants to play with their train sets at least once a week. That's a big reward for them, a big deal for them. Okay, so write down those things that you also want to do. My recommendation is to look at what you want to do and dream a little bit, but also be realistic a little bit, right? So you can have a want that's a dream. I want to work out 1 hour a day for 7 days a week. If that's a dream for you because you now work out 0 times and you had no plan before, my recommendation is not to do that, right? Make sense for what you're going to do. But another want that might be very realistic for you is I want to have a bubble bath once a week. That's my self-care. I want to have a bubble bath, or I want to give myself a face mask or a hair mask or something like that, an exfoliating body scrub, whatever it might be. I want to do a DIY once a week that takes an hour. Things of that nature. So you want to write that on your wants. Now you're going to look at what you need to do and what you want to do, right? Fill out, begin at, I would say 8 a.m. and then let your day end at 10 p.m., on every line. 8 a.m., 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, go all the way to 10. Literally list it. This first step is what we're going to call tracking. If you don't know what you're currently doing, realistically, don't put what you want to do yet. And be careful to reserve judgment for yourself. Be kind to yourself. You've just been, in this new and different time, you've just been adjusting yourself. You're trying to just keep it together. For many people, they're just trying to keep it together. And only now are they starting to see some semblance of maybe I feel comfortable doing this at this time. Maybe this is good. They're getting into their groove, if you would. Okay. So you're going to track. You're going to literally write out what happens at 8 o'clock. At 9 o'clock, what happens? At 10 o'clock, what happens? At 11 o'clock, what happens? If you have a block of time and you know that you need to do whatever, school. So school may be 7 to 3, right? Or school may be 9 to 3. Your child needs to log on by blah, blah, blah time, and they log off at such and such time. They get an hour for a break for lunch. Those kinds of things. Make sure that you're writing all of that stuff in, because what you're doing with tracking is just listing what you're actually doing. You're going to move on to assessing, right? In this time frame, you're looking at, okay, I've been doing this way. Is it working? Now, the things that you can't move, don't worry about those things. I'm looking at the blank spaces. The blank spaces are where you have time to fill in what you want, and where you can actually shift up if you need to for the next step, which is adjustment. I think that it's safe to say that all of us have adjusted in the last couple of weeks, right? And so that's shared to say, this is a real time for you to look at, do I really work from 9 to 5? Or do I more work from 9:15 to 4:45? Or do I more work from 8 a.m. to 6? Because some people are doing more work because less staff, blah, blah, blah. Your boss thinks you're at home. Of course you have all this free time, right? So there may be more work as opposed to less work now. But look at what actually is happening and adjust, shift up, shift down, right? What that looks like is this. Maybe your child needs to go to bed 30 minutes earlier and get up 30 minutes later to feel fully rested and not be kind of all over the place, right? Maybe your loved one needs some time to themselves every day. You're seeing they get cranky about 4 o'clock. So they need a little time to themselves to go read, to go do whatever they like to do for half an hour, for an hour, etc. Maybe you guys need to eat at a different time so that everybody can eat together. That there's one meal and you can feel more of a sense of community. Whatever the adjustment may look like is on you, right? I would say check in with your loved ones. Yeah. Before you go to automatically adjusting, so that they have some buy-in. They may say, Mommy, I don't want 2 hours of free play. I want to read for an hour, and then I want an hour of free play to kind of do what I want to do. Believe it or not, children like structure. Children like predictability. They like knowing this happens and then this happens and then this happens. Not that it's mundane, that every day is the same routine, but that they can anticipate that school comes after breakfast, or that after lunch, they start math, or just something that kind of gives them a sense of this happens and then this happens. Imagine you going to work and there's no structure at all. You have no sense of, I have to get this done today. Yes, you're self-regulated, right? Unless a lot of our positions, we get to determine what happens throughout the day based on, our task list. However, you feel good because when you go in, okay, I got to punch the clock, or I got to sign in, or I got to log in, and then I have to do this, and then this and this. And I know at 12 o'clock, I'm out for lunch. There's a sense of regularity. And so that's what you want to begin to instill. But again, check in with your family members just to see if that makes sense for them too. Do your best to establish win-win successes in this time, right? There are going to be some things that you can grapple with, but there will be some things that you can just know that, okay, if I gave everybody, if one person chose what we did this half an hour on Sundays, and somebody else chose what we do this half an hour on Mondays, Tuesday, and kind of shift it like that, then that would be a win-win for folks because they get to decide, right? But you just saying, this is how we're going to do it, and that's it, period, if you're not the only co-caregiver in the house, is a recipe for disaster. So just check in, okay? Now, in the spaces that you have, right, as you're adjusting, think about the things that you want to do. And in the wants, or in those spaces, put your wants. Put one unrealistic want and one realistic want, right? You may have a list of 5 wants and just say to yourself, okay, I think I want to do this and this today. If you take care of yourself in at least one way every day, my guarantee to you is that you're going to feel calmer, less anxious, more appreciated, et cetera, et cetera. And then you can, engage your family in doing the same thing. Hey, what do you guys want to do? What do you guys want to put in your schedules every day? Have you ever thought about it? That kind of thing. You can't force them to put their wants on the list, but you can have them access that opportunity, right? Okay. So that's your to say. In the adjustments, you're going to slide up or slide down. If things have been working, keep them as they are. If things are not working, that's when you get to adjust. And then your last step is implementation. This is the most important step because you can go through all of that. And if you just do the same thing, all that you did was waste time. Right? I appreciate good reflection. Let me just be very clear. I meditate, I pray. So I appreciate good reflection and quiet time and blah, blah, blah. I'm writing things down to kind of sort things out. Ultimately, it's important to actually put in motion, because it's wonderful to hear, oh, I want to have a routine. My child doesn't have a routine. I don't have a routine. I don't understand what's going on. This and this and this and this. That's okay. You get to complain about that until you track it and assess it and adjust it, and then you get to implement it. Track your behavior for about 3 days, right? 3 full days. Just notice what's happening every day, because you'll see that you guys do get into a routine, right? And then I want you to assess it one day and then move on to adjusting it that same day, right? Implement the next day. So all of this is probably going to take a total of 4 or 5 days. My usual process is anywhere from a week to a month to even track what you're actually been doing, right? To assess, does it make sense? To adjust where you need to tweak this up or down, move this left or right, delete it completely, add it completely, whatever you might need to do. So again, make sure that you have in what you need to do first, put in your priorities first, and then prioritize at least 2 of your wants. One being an unrealistic one and one being a realistic one. But take care of yourself in at least one way every day, even if that means you just journal for 10 minutes straight. I just want to journal for 10 minutes straight. I just want some time to myself, 15 minutes in the bathroom to take a bath and veg out and put my Epsom salts in and put some good music on and a candle and blah, 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 right? Take care of you. This is a stressful time. And if you've made it this far in the video, I'm going to congratulate you for first taking care of yourself, for focusing on actually getting to the crux of things. You're gonna have multiple questions. It's hard to do, it's hard to give you every nuance of this process in one video. When I'm sitting with clients and their parents, it takes longer than just a quick 15 minutes. But this is a way to access it. If you have questions or comments, please do put them in the comment section, and I'll do my best to respond to you within the week so that you have direct information that's catered to you specifically. Understand that being a therapist, I do this kind of thing for a living. So you can trust me to support you in getting to what you need. Does that make sense? Okay. Family, please take care of yourselves. Stay well, stay safe, drink your hot liquids, eat your raw fruits, your nuts and seeds raw, drink the hot foods, take hot showers, just take care of yourself at this time. Make sure you have plenty of vitamin C. Make sure you're working on your immune system. All those things that attack this illness. While we're dealing with this, stay in and stay safe. When you can't stay safe, be socially distant, or when you can't rather stay in, social distancing, just be careful. Just be careful. We need you to be a part of this community. We need you to be here, and we need one another. Take care of your loved ones, whether that be on Zoom, saying hi. You know, if it's your neighbor, you know, if you can bring them a package of something, put it on their doorknob, walk away, and then knock on the door and just let them know, hey, after you've walked away, right, go back up, knock on the door and let them know, hey, I brought you some, some oranges for your vitamin C. I brought you some this, or I was thinking about you, here's a card, or just something along those lines. I think the positive vibrations will be going up sooner than later. And I challenge you to do 3 acts of kindness, not 3 kinds, 3 acts of kindness this week. And it can be 3 different people, it could be a group of people, whatever you want to do, but let's spread awesomeness. Let's remember that he's got the whole world in his hands, right? Okay. So that's sure to say, got a little excited at the end, but it's really important that we take care of ourselves so that we can take care of others. Make sense? Okay, well, family, happy Miracle Monday. Again, I hope that was helpful to you. Any questions or comments, feel free to like and subscribe. If you want to get to me directly and I've not responded in the comments, for example, within a day or so, you can feel free to follow me on Instagram. And on Instagram, I typically check Instagram every day. And so that's a much faster way to actually get to me, to ask me a direct question. And I'll end with, expect miracles. Expect them every day, family. They're happening. Bye for now.